We'll go ahead and get started. Congratulations to Coach Riley, and I thought Nebraska played well. There was a tipping point in the game, and sometimes games can get out of hand. That one certainly did. For us to win, we were going to need to not play air-free, but create some turnovers and certainly take care of the football. I thought Nebraska did an excellent job defending our running game, and which made us one-dimensional. And typically when you get that one-dimensional, a lot of bad things happen. So we've got some work to do there, but I don't want to take anything away from the front. I thought Nebraska guys established the line, tackled well. Certainly we were concerned about the skill players that they have, particularly the wide receivers, and they lived up to their billing. They made some great plays. And so, there was time we were in the ball game, but obviously 60-minute ball game, and we didn't get it done, and I think we got whooped today. So questions?
Craig, how do you where was the tipping point? Was it a certain interception or anything by Josh, or when you're where was it?
Yeah. First of all, I think obviously Josh has been, a really competitive guy, and we'll look at the tape. I think there was a stretch where we had 3 out of 4 series where we had interceptions, and that's tough to start pressing the ball that much. We need to do a better job with that. So when the exact tipping point was, but it was after one of those turnovers. I think it was, you saw the point spread begin to, the margin begin to really be tough. So.
Do you worry about having to bring him back now? I mean, this is only his third game, and do you worry about that?
Right. Well, I think we need to recognize he's not a senior veteran player. I mean, he's a sophomore. Coach Vegan and myself, we'll sit down, we'll talk with him. There's a great worth and value. Obviously, he's a competitive guy. He's not going to walk out of here and feel like he did great, but there's not one guy that does anything. But I think he'll be a competitive guy and get ourselves ready to bounce back next week.
Coach, there were a few penalties that looked like might have been out of frustration. What did you think about the team's composure down the stretch?
Well, I don't know which one you're talking about. There was one on the sideline.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can recall. There was a lot of calls the other way, but which one?
I guess I was thinking about the play with Josh where he threw the ball and at the guy.
Josh threw the ball?
They didn't end up calling the ball.
Okay, I guess I didn't see that. No, I don't think we lost. It was a competitive game, though. The Nebraska players played competitive, and we did as well.
Like you said, it's a 60-minute game, but for after 3/4, you're down just 7 and you're in it.
Right.
Can you take anything from that, or because of the way the fourth quarter went, you can't?
We'll build on that, Robert. I thought at that time the game was fairly evenly matched. I know we had missed a couple scoring opportunities on field goals, and we weren't able to convert as many times on third down and makeables as what we'd like. And so there's some positive things, but certainly, our depth came into play. And, I want to credit Nebraska, too. I thought they really responded well.
Coach, do you feel like you put a little bit too much on Josh Allen's shoulders today, or was that run game where they just not giving up plays in the run game?
Well, you always strive to run, and Brent and I were talking consistently along with the offensive line, and obviously we need to run the ball more and to be effective, and that wasn't going to. We had a plan coming in, but we started to adjust that plan. You're not going to. We're not made to be a pass-happy football team, and so we're going to need to get back to work and make sure we can get some things corrected to get some movement up front. I think we've got some pretty capable running backs, but there just wasn't a lot of area in there today.
Coach, the way Nebraska's defense clogged up that middle, that made it tougher. Was that something that you saw last week, or were there some new wrinkles there?
No, they played really good technique. I know they lost Stoltenberger, but I thought their defensive line really established the line of scrimmage well. I'm sure they made improvement. We had shown the ability to run the ball pretty well, so I'm sure they worked hard on a running game, and they defended it well.
Coach, how impressed were you with that play before half from Josh points on the board there?
Well, that's the positive side, and we're gonna choose to say the glass is half full to be able to make those plays, and to limit some of those other plays. So it certainly changed the complexion of the game. I know our guys came in at halftime, and then obviously as we got into the third quarter, there going in the fourth quarter, it was a fairly close ball game.
Coach, being from Lincoln, having so much history with this team, how was it coming out of the visitors tunnel today? Did you have a lot of family in that space?
Well, there's a lot of family here, but I've been asked that question a lot. This is about the University of Wyoming and about our football team, and so coaches typically are really good at compartmentalizing. And so, you look, there was a football team. Coach Riley and I are on the board together and stuff like that. So all these other things, we got beat by a good football team, so it really didn't have a lot to do with emotion.
Coach, although things kind of got away in the fourth quarter, do you feel like those first 3 quarters was closer than maybe the score indicated in the final score?
Well, yeah, but, I've coached long enough, 60-minute game, and that's why I think we need to credit Nebraska, because I thought, they kept after us and forced a lot of turnovers and made some big plays. I think they either scored once on defense and another time down to the 1, and so pretty hard to overcome that. So we'll learn from that. We're going to look at the tape. There's going to be some good things that are in that tape, but there's going to be some things that we need to correct before next week.
Can't get the running game going, I'm sorry. Can't get the running game going. Was it a matter of technique or just being overmatched, or what did you see there?
Well, from the naked eye, from the sideline, sometimes that can be a little bit misjudging, but I thought we had a hard time getting movement on them. We tried some power stuff. We tried an outside G several times. Part of the running game that was successful was the jet sweep to Austin. That got some yardage. But, our base runs, I'm going to credit Nebraska, but also our technique a little bit. I didn't think we got enough movement up front.
Nebraska's last touchdown, thoughts about that? You've kind of been on the side of where there had been, a blowout. Any concerns about that, or throwing with the first play for the?
Oh no, those is football.
Okay.
No, it's football.